Lu Yun traveled to the Douluo Continent and obtained a divine-level auction system, embarking on a journey against the heavens. The first auction of 100,000-year-old soul bones, a top-notch immortal herb, shocked Douluo Continent and stirred up a storm in the mainland. Next, the auction items from the Star Auction Pavilion spread to the mainland one by one, causing a shock in the world. Soul rings, soul bones, martial souls, immortal herbs, martial arts techniques, divine positions, everything in the world can be auctioned off. Countless years later, the Star Auction Pavilion stands at the top of the heavens and the world, overlooking the prosperity of the world. Keywords of the novel. Douluo. Opening auction of 100,000-year soul bones without pop-ups, Douluo. Opening auction of 100,000-year soul bones complete collection download, Douluo. Opening auction of 100,000-year soul bones latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Divine Auction System. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Divine Auction System Douluo Continent Starry Forest. Bang! On the boundless sky, a loud noise suddenly came out, and the indestructible space was instantly shattered by a powerful mysterious force. A dark vortex appeared in a daze, and a light suddenly flew out of the vortex. Finally, it landed heavily, producing bursts of noise. When the dust on the ground dissipated, a young man suddenly stood up. This young man has a handsome face, but has a worldly temperament all around him, and is also an extremely eye-catching presence in the crowd. Where is this? Didn't I sleep at home? How did I suddenly come to this place? Did someone play a prank and leave me here? The man rubbed his painful shoulder and looked at the surrounding scenery with sleepy eyes, his face full of shock. What exactly is this place? How does it feel like a primitive forest? This young man is an ordinary office worker living in Blue Star, named Lu Yun. Due to a tiring day, he goes to bed early at night. Who knew they had just fallen asleep and woke up to find themselves in this place? Which primitive forest is this? Lu Yun couldn't help but calm his panicked emotions and walked around, only to find a damp atmosphere everywhere. Fresh air rushed in, making Lu Yun unconsciously take a long breath of relief. Such an environment, it's hard to tell which side of the primitive forest it is, and the thought of it made Lu Yun's heart tremble uncontrollably. He knows which giant beasts are present in the primitive forest, and if he accidentally falls into the mouth of one of them, he would be dead. Ding, detected host, divine auction system bound to host, currently binding. As Lu Yun was lost, a cold voice suddenly rang out in his mind. Nanny. System, can I really travel to another world like a fantasy novel? Where is this world? Upon hearing the cold voice in his mind, Lu Yun trembled with fear and immediately showed a look of ecstasy on his face. Unexpectedly, the legendary system descended upon him. In Blue Star, he loves reading novels and naturally knows that the system is in supreme existence. Can help you achieve anything. Such a great opportunity unexpectedly hit him, but Lu Yun was curious about which world he came into. Is it a fantasy world? Or is it the world of cultivating immortals? Ding, binding successful. Please ask the host to receive specific information about this system and the world. At this moment, the cold sound of the system continued to ring in Lu Yun's mind. As soon as the words fell, a piercing sensation hit Lu Yun's mind, and a constant stream of knowledge flooded into his mind. After a moment, Lu Yun finally woke up, his eyes mixed with a brilliant light. I've actually traveled to the Douluo Continent. That's right. When Lu Yun came to this world, he was called Douluo Continent. In his past life, he had read novels and anime from Douluo Continent. I naturally hope that one day I can travel to the Douluo Continent and appreciate the charm of martial souls. Unexpectedly, his wish came true. The divine level auction system, this should be the foundation of my foothold in Douluo Continent, right? Lu Yun understood the function of the system in his mind, the god-level auction system, as the name suggests, which can auction items. The final auction commission can be exchanged for auction points to purchase some precious treasures in the system store to enhance one's own strength. So this system is a very powerful existence, but at this time, Lu Yun encountered a dilemma. System, my body has traveled through it, and I don't even have any strength. What's the difference between holding an auction and seeking death? Besides, I don't have anything else to auction off, do I? This is the dilemma that Lu Yun is currently facing, and he doesn't know where he is. Even a 10-year soul beast may not be a match. You can't just be killed by a 10-year soul beast when you first arrive in Douluo Continent. If it were to be spread, it would be too embarrassing for the travelers. Due to the current difficulties of the host, we would like to offer a luxurious beginner gift pack as a gift at this moment, the system continued to say. My predecessors never deceived me, and indeed there is a newbie gift pack. System, open the luxurious beginner gift pack. Upon hearing the system's words, Lu Yun smiled and poked his palm, eagerly opening the luxurious beginner gift package. The word luxury gave Lu Yun endless anticipation. Suddenly, golden lights flashed in front of me, shining to the extreme. 1 Star Auction Pavilion, 1 auctioneer, 1 auction pavilion protector, and 1 set of attire for the pavilion owner. As Lu Yun looked at the contents of the luxurious beginner gift package with joy, his face couldn't help but feel excited. But when I see something specific, my heart is full of doubts. What's going on? Why isn't there anything like a martial soul? How should he improve his strength? System, do I have a martial soul myself? At this moment, Lu Yun continued to ask the system in confusion. When others travel to the Douluo Continent, they are all soul journeys, and as a result, they travel directly with their bodies. And now that he has reached his 20s, he naturally missed the age of awakening his martial soul at the age of 6. Where did he get his martial soul from? There is no martial soul in the host's body. As long as the host completes an auction, they will receive a martial soul gift pack. The cold system sound continued to ring. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun's face was full of sorrow, and he never expected that he would need to conduct an auction in order to obtain the martial soul. How should he hold an auction without strength? Besides, he doesn't have anything else precious to attract soul masters from Douluo Continent. Well, let's take a look at the other things first. What are they? Helpless, Lu Yun had no choice but to ignore the current predicament and take a look at what was inside the luxurious beginner gift package. After investigation, Lu Yun understood that the Star Auction Pavilion is a ready-made auction pavilion and does not require him to go anywhere for auction. With this Star Auction Pavilion, it is extremely convenient for Lu Yun. What is the difference between the Star Auction Pavilion and the Star Forest? At this moment, when Lu Yun noticed the name of the auction house, his eyebrows furrowed and he was completely puzzled. Immediately, I didn't know what I was thinking, and my face showed a look of shock. System, I won't be in the Star Forest right now, will I? Lu Yun expressed his worries, but his tone was full of certainty. He is certain that the place where he landed is definitely the Starry Forest, but he doesn't know if it's the outer, inner, or core area. If he were in the core area, wouldn't he die without a doubt? After all, there are 100,000-year-old soul beasts there. He sneezes casually, and with his weak physique, how could he possibly withstand it? End of this chapter. Chapter 2. 2 Title Douluo Strong Men. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Title Douluo Strong Men. The host is currently surrounded by the starry forest. The sound of the system rings. I'll go, as expected, it's in the starry forest. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun's heart thumped and he no longer held any hope. But fortunately, it's not in the core area. Although it's surrounded by the starry forest, where eternal soul beasts often appear, it's much stronger than the core area. Believing that the system would not watch him walk towards death, Lu Yun relaxed a little and continued to examine the remaining few things. Auctioneer. Xuanshuang, Level 95 Strong Attack Series Title Douluo, Martial Soul. Ice element, soul ring. Yellow yellow purple purple black 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 red. After checking the specific information of the auctioneer, Lu Yun was completely stunned. No way. Surprisingly, he is a powerful Douluo with a title. Isn't it true that with her protection, he can almost freely walk on the Douluo continent? Don't worry about the treasures being seized at auction, I didn't expect the system to be so understanding. With the presence of this title Douluo, Lu Yun now has confidence. The protection of a powerful Douluo is guaranteed by walking around the Star Forest. Lu Yun learned from Xuanzhuang's martial soul that the ice element is the ultimate existence of martial souls. You can use the ice elements between heaven and earth to engage in battles. It is also possible to convert water elements into ice elements and unleash a wide range of destructive power. Even if fighting on the mainland, it is not as powerful as fighting on the sea. But the ultimate strength of martial souls is not something that ordinary martial souls can resist. Wow! Next, with a movement of his mind, Lu Yun summoned Xuanzhuang directly, and eerie ripples appeared in the space ahead. Suddenly, a woman in an ice blue long dress appeared, her skin as white as snow, and 3,000 white hair fluttering in the wind. The cold and chilly breath unintentionally released from his body made him dare not approach. And the surrounding air seemed to be frozen by this extremely cold air. It is enough to imagine how mysterious and powerful Xuanzhuang's control over its own ice attributes is. Xuanzhuang pays respects to the Lord of the Pavilion. After Xuanzhuang appeared here, some information immediately came to her mind. Looking at Lu Yun in front of him, he restrained his coldness and respectfully bowed to him. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun nodded calmly on the surface, but in reality, he was very surprised inside. With the protection of Xuanzhuang, he currently has no worries. Lu Yun continued to check the auction pavilion protector, thinking that with his systematic personality, he wouldn't be given a stronger player than the title Douluo, would he? Star Auction Pavilion Protector. Jiuyou, Level 99 Strong Attack Extreme Douluo, Martial Soul. Ghost Dragon, Soul Ring. Black 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 red red red. At this moment, Lu Yun saw the specific information about the protection of the auction pavilion, and he could no longer remain calm. Ha ha ha. Surprisingly, it's Extreme Douluo, the system. You've been so kind to me. Lu Yun shouted loudly to the system in his mind. This is Extreme Douluo. Nowadays, there are only 3 Extreme Douluo powerhouses in Douluo Continent, and it is unexpected that the Star Auction Pavilion Protector is also such a powerful title Douluo. The Ghost Dragon Martial Soul belongs to the Divine Level Martial Soul, with a trace of the afterlife of the Ghost Dragon mixed in. With its blessing, the Ghost Dragon Martial Soul is also one of the top beings among Divine Level Martial Souls, far from being comparable to the Sea God or the 6-winged Angel Martial Soul. Moreover, the Ghost Dragon Martial Soul possesses an incredible soul ring configuration, and it can be said that the soul ring of Jiuyou is the only existence on the Douluo continent today. Even Poseidon, the great deity of the Sea God Island, has only 8 black and 1 red soul rings. With the protection of Jiuyou, Douluo continent can walk back and forth without worrying about anything else. Boom! Lu Yun also summoned Jiuyou, and a middle-aged man appeared in front of him, emitting an astonishing aura of the underworld and charging straight into the sky. It caused a shocking movement in the starry forest, but Jiuyou restrained his momentum when he saw Lu Yun's face. Everything that just happened seems to have never happened. With the protection of 2 strong men, Lu Yun leisurely walked around the Star Do forest, searching for a place to place the Star Do Auction Pavilion. The Star Auction Pavilion is destined to become a unique presence in the Douluo continent. The inner perimeter of the starry forest is indeed a good place. This is the paradise of soul beasts, even ordinary Douluo warriors would not come here. Greatly increasing the mystery of the Star Auction Pavilion and attracting more powerful players. As time passed, Lu Yun arrived at a place and found it to be an open area surrounded by towering ancient trees, appearing quiet and mysterious. Not bad, this is a great place. Lu Yun plans to use this place as the location for the Star Auction Pavilion. System, place the Star Auction Pavilion here. Lu Yun said to the system in his mind, followed by a flash of golden light. A huge building appeared from the void and finally fell to the ground with a loud bang. Surprisingly, a large amount of dust appeared, and Lu Yun and his companions retreated one after another to avoid being affected by this powerful momentum. After all the commotion subsided, Lu Yun looked ahead. The Star Auction Pavilion ahead was discovered to be a spacious and huge attic, with 3 floors. The exquisite and extraordinary architecture seemed to have been coated with a mysterious radiance on the outside. The 5 characters of the Star Auction Pavilion on the plaque exude an aura that is superior to that of the Douluo Continent. It makes people feel a sharp pain in the skull just by looking at it. Lu Yun quickly averted his gaze. As a person without any soul power, if he stared for a little longer, he was afraid that the consequences would not be something he could bear. Lu Yun walked in with Jiuyou and Xuanshuang, and saw a significant change in the scene before him. The originally 3-story attic was completely empty in the middle. The space inside is much larger than the outside world. The first floor is a regular seat that can accommodate many people, with no end in sight. As for the second and third floors, there are only private rooms surrounding the entire attic. The private room should be a place for those with status and strong financial resources to sit down. In front of the seat, there is a huge 3-story auction table. Not bad. It's truly a systematic means, it's unbelievable. After thoroughly understanding the internal structure of the Star Dough selling pavilion, Lu Yun couldn't help but exclaim in amazement. From now on, he can be considered to have a foothold in Douluo Continent. Xuanshuang, you should know your identity in the Star Auction Pavilion. From now on, you will be responsible for the auction matters, and at the same time, you should also protect the safety of the Star Auction Pavilion and not let any young people come here to cause trouble. As for Jiuyou, you will follow me from now on and protect my safety. After a moment, Lu Yun instructed the 2 titled Douluo beside him. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Non-invasion of all laws. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Non-invasion of all laws. They are created by the system and are naturally completely loyal to him, so there is no need to worry about 2 people having rebellious intentions. Yes, my lord. 2 titled Douluo powerhouses responded respectfully to Lu Yun. System, take out the attire of the pavilion master. Lu Yun looked at his pajamas and found them extremely strange on the Douluo Continent. Take out the luxurious beginner gift package and the set of attire for the owner directly. The light on Lu Yun's body flashed, followed by a blue robe attached to him. The pattern above is carved with the sun, moon, and stars, as if it were a vast sea of stars, incredibly mysterious. Oh, there's such an incredible effect. When Lu Yun put on this outfit, a sky-shattering function came to mind. The attire of the owner of the auction house is inviolable and can withstand all attacks. This is the powerful effect of this outfit, and knowing this effect made Lu Yun even more excited in his heart. With this set of clothes, he will stand still in the auction house and not be harmed in the slightest by others. Unfortunately, if left within the scope of the auction house, the attire of the owner will lose its ability to resist all attacks. This makes Lu Yun even more eager to improve his own strength. I can't stay in the Star Auction Pavilion for the rest of my life, it's a bit too boring. Additionally, this garment is also light and non-staining. Even if you keep wearing it, it won't get dirty and has an automatic cleaning function. Lu Yun has a deep desire for strength, and he can't always stand and let others fight in the future, which is a bit too cheap. It seems that he must complete an auction to obtain the martial soul for cultivation. Well, let's set a small goal first, to become a titled Douluo powerhouse within 5 years. At this moment, Lu Yun was thinking very nauseating in his heart. With a god-level auction system, it's not very difficult to become a titled Douluo powerhouse within 5 years with such an incredible system. As long as he keeps auctioning and obtains auction points, his own strength will definitely soar in a short period of time. Becoming a tidal Douluo powerhouse within 5 years seems a bit long. It seems that his goal still needs to be set in the long run. Tidal Douluo is not his final destination. The core area of the starry forest. The Lake of Life. This is a shimmering lake, with a gentle breeze blowing through, creating ripples and unleashing a rich power of life. Beside the Lake of Life, there is a huge ape with magma-like patterns attached to its massive body. Emitting the aura of a soul beast that belongs to 100,000 years old. This soul beast is one of the 2 kings in the core area of the starry forest, the Titan ape. However, the Titan ape didn't know what it was sensing. Its gaze turned towards the direction surrounding the starry forest, and its huge copper bell-like eyes released endless pressure. Wow! I saw a strange movement on the water ahead, and a giant soul beast with a cow head and snake body emerged from the water, emitting the same aura of a 100,000-year-old soul beast. It is another imperial soul beast, the 100,000-year-old azure bull python. Erming, did you also notice it? The gaze of Tianqing bull python also looked towards a certain direction around the inner wall, which was where Lu Yun placed the Star Auction Pavilion. That's right, a very strong aura, and there were actually 2 auras of tidal Douluo in that place. It's hard not to say that adult soul masters are planning something again. Upon hearing this, the Titan ape nodded fiercely, and his honest voice rang out in this area. Humph, I didn't expect that the human soul master would never die of a thief's heart. He dared to send a powerful person with the title of Douluo to the Star Do forest. Could it be that he didn't take us 2 beasts seriously? The Titan ape continued to snort coldly, and the majestic 100,000-year soul beast pressure spread from the core area to the periphery in an instant. Countless weak soul beasts felt the majestic pressure of a king in collapse to the ground, murmuring mournfully, symbolizing endless fear. Daming, I'll go meet those 2 tidal Douluo powerhouses for a while. At this moment, the Titan ape didn't know what was on its mind, and its huge fist pounded its chest, making a roaring sound. Wait a minute, both of these tidal Douluo have great strength. From a distance, I can feel that aura, both of them are extremely powerful. It seems that they should be the top tidal Douluo among human soul masters. I'll go with you, even if we're both defeated and want to escape, there's no problem. Just as the Titan ape was about to head towards that area, the sky blue bull python made a sound and stopped the Titan ape's movement, speaking solemnly. His strength is much stronger than that of the Titan ape, and he can clearly feel the 2 strong auras in that area. Every breath seemed to be completely independent of him. If Titan ape were to go alone, he would probably be killed by the 2 powerful Douluo warriors. So Tianqing bull python didn't want to let Titan ape go on an adventure alone, so he planned to go with him. 2 people working together should be able to solve the problem of those 2 powerful Douluo titles. If something unexpected happens and they are defeated by the 2 powerful Douluo players, they want to escape, but no one can catch up with them. So, the Titan ape and the sky blue bull python rushed towards the area where the landing cloud was located, with their huge bodies. Wherever it passed, the pressure of 100,000 years of soul beasts poured out, causing the surrounding area to fall into a great commotion. Just as the Titan ape and the sky blue bull python rushed towards the direction of the landing cloud at an extremely fast speed. Among the people in the Star Auction Pavilion, Lu Yun did not notice any movement. Instead, Jiuyou and Xuanxuang beside him furrowed their eyebrows, noticing 2 powerful auras approaching in their direction. Master Gu, there are 200,000-year-old soul beasts aura attacking towards us. Do you want me to take action and eliminate them? Jiuyou's domineering tone came out, unleashing a powerful ultimate Douluo aura throughout his body. Oh, 200,000-year soul beasts. Upon hearing these words, Lu Yun raised his eyebrows and pondered for a moment, then he knew who these 200,000-year-old soul beasts were. After all, in the current era of Douluo Continent, the only 100,000-year-old soul beasts on the surface are the azure bull python and the titan ape. He is not far from the lake of life in the starry forest. Perhaps it was the commotion he caused when he placed the Star Auction Pavilion that woke them up and brought them here. However, at this moment, Lu Yun didn't care at all. Tianqing bull python and titan ape dared to come and act wild in front of him. With Jiuyou and Xuanxuang guarding on the side, not to mention 200,000-year soul beasts, even if there are a few more, there is no threat. Don't rush to kill them for now, capture them here, I'll make my own arrangements. At this moment, Lu Yun didn't know what was on his mind, and a meaningful smile appeared on his face. Capturing those 200,000-year-old soul beasts to show him the gate of the Star Auction Pavilion seems to be a good choice. It can also be considered the storefront of the Star Auction Pavilion. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. The Field of Ice and Snow. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. The Field of Ice and Snow. With 200,000-year soul beasts guarding the gate, the reputation of the Star Auction Pavilion has been completely destroyed. Let other soul masters not easily provoke the Star Auction Pavilion. If other soul masters in Douluo Continent hear this sentence, they will definitely be shocked. It is unprecedented to have a 100,000-year soul beast guard the door. Even if they have this idea, they don't have the strength to do it. So who would let Lu Yun have a peak-level extreme Douluo by his side? Master, let me handle this matter. At this moment, Xian Shuang, with a cold face on her side, spoke respectfully to Lu Yun. Strive to resolve those two 100,000-year-old soul beasts as soon as possible. That's okay, but remember to catch them two beasts as quickly as possible, don't be too passionate about fighting. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun nodded lightly, but a serious expression appeared on his face. Lu Yunka knows that in the starry forest, there are not only 200,000-year-old soul beasts, the azure bull python and the titan ape. Below the lake of life, there is a strange space where there can be many fierce beast-level soul beasts. Each soul beast has a lifespan of over 200,000 years. Moreover, there is also a silver dragon king who had the power of a divine king during his peak period. Even if severely injured by the group of gods in the divine realm, they still possess divine-level combat power. If the chaos caused by the war leads to the group of ferocious beasts below the lake of life, that would be terrible. With the presence of Jiuyou, Lu Yun doesn't have to worry about his own crisis at all. Two fists are difficult to defeat four hands, doesn't he want to escape from this place in despair? Yes, Lord. Xuanxuang responded with a solemn expression. As soon as the words fell, the whole person transformed into a strand of ice and snow between heaven and earth, and suddenly disappeared in place. Undoubtedly, it is an existence with ice element martial souls. Such methods are truly unbelievable. Lu Yun looked at the figure of Xian Shuang leaving, touching his chin and falling into contemplation. Although he was just an ordinary person, he could still sense that when Xuanxuang left just now, he seemed to have transformed himself into a strand of ice element power between heaven and earth. Invisible and impenetrable, it is truly extremely powerful. Just don't know if Xuanxuang can defeat Tianqing bull python and titan ape. Lu Yun also wants to know how powerful Xuanxuang will be after exerting all her strength. Ice element martial soul, belonging to the ultimate martial soul existence, coupled with her 95-level soul power, should have great confidence in defeating the azure bull python and titan ape. At this moment, the azure bull python and titan ape, who arrived from the core area of the starry forest, unleashed a terrifying 100,000-year soul beast pressure all around them. Rushing directly towards Lu Yun, after a while, two huge soul beasts stood in front of the Star Auction Pavilion, showing a solemn expression. Erming, I always feel something's wrong with this place. How could this building appear out of thin air? Also, for some reason, I felt a deadly sense of crisis from this area. At this moment, Tianqing bull python spoke seriously to the titan ape beside him. Speak out all the feelings of unease in your heart. Having reached his level of strength, he can definitely perceive his own crisis clearly. This made him feel a bit indecisive. Who built this building and who are the strong ones inside? It seems to be the conspiracy of those human soul masters. The Star Do forest is the territory of our soul beasts, and human soul masters repeatedly step into it, really seeking death. Watch me destroy it. Erming's violent temper was ignored and he did not continue to think deeply. He used the majestic soul beast aura in his body to condense his right fist. Suddenly, he roared to the Star Trek Auction Pavilion in front, carrying the momentum like Mount Tai, as if to destroy everything in this fist. Erming, stop it. When Tianqing Bull Python saw that the Titan ape was so eager to strike, and his fist was about to hit the Star Auction Pavilion, he immediately shouted loudly. But it's too late now. The deadly sense of crisis that I had previously felt has now appeared in a daze. Sure enough, a stunning scene happened next, and an ice curtain cast by the power of cold ice appeared in front of the Star Auction Pavilion. Boom! The terrifying force of cold ice poured out directly towards the front. What a powerful force of ice! Not good. After sensing the extremely cold force of the ice, the sky blue bull python and titan ape seemed to have their soul power stagnated for a moment, and their movements became much slower. With a click. When the titan ape punched the ice curtain ahead, all the attacks were instantly dispersed, creating ripples. The ice curtain in front also shattered with a click, transforming into the power of ice elements between heaven and earth, dissipating. Suddenly, a woman flew out of the Star Auction Pavilion, exuding an unprecedented coldness. This person was Xuanxuang. Human Soul Master, did you build this place? Tianqing Bull Python noticed that the powerful Douluo with the title in front of him was very strong, not even inferior to him, so he spoke out cautiously and asked. This is the location of the Star Auction Pavilion. Today, you 200,000-year-old soul beasts have disturbed our Lord Qingxiu. You have been ordered to come and capture you two beasts, and hand them over to our Lord for punishment. At this moment, Xuanxuang didn't speak politely to Tianqing Bull Python and said coldly. As soon as the words were spoken, strands of ice element power spread throughout the body. In the field of ice and snow. The whole world seemed to have a weak atmosphere, with snowflakes falling in the air, releasing an endless sense of coldness. This aura. This is a domain skill, you can actually control the power of heaven and earth, how could it be? The Tianqing Bull Python suddenly noticed that the surrounding world seemed to have changed, and endless ice elements converged towards them. Almost freezing the way their soul power operates, making it impossible for them to fully unleash their strength. Even the newly fearless Titan ape's expression became extremely solemn, slightly moving its huge body to come to the side of the sky blue bull python. Always be prepared for the deadly crisis ahead. Get out of here. Tianqing Bull Python pondered in his heart and would never continue to fight against this human soul master. He had previously felt the aura of two tidal Douluo, and the person in front of him was one of them. Compared to another aura, it appears very weak, which means that there is a more powerful tidal Douluo in front of the Star Auction Pavilion. The soul master in front of them, who controls the power of the ice element, is enough to make the two beasts fight with all their might. Not to mention an unknown powerhouse, so the two beasts decided to retreat to the core area of the starry forest. After hearing the words of the sky blue bull python, the titan ape was filled with unwillingness, but for the sake of his own life, he could only follow the footsteps of the sky blue bull python and leave this place. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Jiuyou's Attack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Jiuyou's attack, trying to escape under my command is simply a pipe dream. Xuanxuang sneered and quickly jumped up, with an endless force of cold ice spreading out of his palm. Surrounded by 9 soul rings, unleashing even more powerful ice and snow power. Xuanxuang continued to unleash her ice and snow realm, and the entire forest seemed to have entered winter. Endless ice cones slowly condensed in the void. The endless force of frost spread around, with ice cones piercing directly towards the direction of the azure bull python and titan ape. Damn it! Seeing such a situation, Tianqing bull python's face became extremely ugly, and they saw that the road ahead was completely blocked by ice cones, making it impossible for them to escape. After a moment, Tianqing bull python and titan ape had no intention of leaving, and they tried to get rid of this human soul master. Her strength is really too strong. For the Soul Beast clan, it is simply a disaster, and she must not be allowed to leave alive. The soul power of Tianqing bull python instantly converged in front of him, and an astonishing thunderous force flickered ahead. Ball-shaped thunderous forces flew toward Xuanxuang. Gravity field. And the titan ape on the side directly unleashed his gravitational field. With clenched fists and a fierce pounding on the chest, the terrifying aura erupted, along with the attack of the sky blue bull python, all rushing toward Xuanxuang. Humph. Upon seeing this scene, Xian Shuang snorted coldly, as if he had not taken these two attacks seriously. The ice cone, which was originally shattered by the powerful attacks of the azure bull python and the titan ape, was once again condensed into an ice cone due to the scattered power of ice and snow. The momentum carried by it was much stronger than before, continuing to thrust towards the two beasts. At this moment, the sky blue bull python and titan ape once again unleashed stronger means, preparing to smash the surrounding ice cones. Forget it, I won't waste my time with you. 8th Soul Skill. Ice and Snow Prison. Immediately afterwards, the 8th black soul ring on Xuanxuang's body suddenly lit up. A brilliant force erupted from the right hand, instantly condensing the water droplets in the air of the entire starry forest, transforming them into the power of ice elements. The endless power of ice and snow converges continuously towards the top of the Star Auction Pavilion. When the power of the ice element reached a certain level, Xian Shuang clenched his right fist, and the power of ice and snow suddenly condensed into an ice blue cage. Immediately imprisoned the azure bull python and titan ape in place. Damn it, why is this human soul master so strong? Erming, use all your strength to break this prison cage. Tianqing bull python saw himself imprisoned in a cage, and no matter how he used his means, he could not shake this ice and snow cage. Xuanxuang ahead is walking towards them, and the two beasts dare not hold back any longer, intending to unleash their strongest attacks. Titan sky is broken. At this point, the titan ape condensed all its soul power into its fists, and the surrounding gravity field constantly affected this area. And by unleashing the titan skyburst, the surrounding gravity is completely concentrated to a certain extent. After waiting for the opportunity to mature, directly use your fists to shoot towards the surrounding cages. The blue sky extinguishes the thunder. The Tianqing bull python also uses all its soul power inside its body, with its dual horns on its head and an astonishing concentration of soul power. The cage was filled with lightning and thunder, unleashing a destructive energy that also bombarded the surrounding ice and snow cages. Sure enough. The bombardment of two powerful forces, the once indestructible ice and snow cage, at this moment, also revealed small cracks that quickly expanded. Erming, continue. When Titan Ape and Sky Blue Bull Python saw such a situation, they once again used all their strength to smash the ice and snow cage in one fell swoop. Boom! The terrifying energy spread in all directions, even affecting the entire starry forest. Countless soul beasts, due to this powerful energy fluctuation, have been shattered one after another, and blood has spilled on the earth. After all, this is the strongest strike of the Azure Bull Python and Titan Ape during their heyday. You guys were able to break free from my constraints, it seems like I underestimated you all. Xuanxuang felt her ice and snow cage being broken, and her tone was full of surprise. It seems that these 200,000-year-old soul beasts have great strength, so they are planning to continue to take action and use the most aggressive means to capture the Titan Ape and the Sky Blue Bull Python, and hand them over to the Lord for release. At this moment, Lu Yun in the Star Auction Pavilion nodded slightly when he saw Xuanchuang's strength. In his eyes, Xuanchuang's strength is truly remarkable, worthy of being the ultimate martial soul. If nothing unexpected happens, Xuanchuang should be able to completely defeat Tianqing Bull Python and Titan Ape next. Watching the aftermath of the attack caused by the three, it has already spread to the entire starry forest. If it causes a disturbance in the Lake of Life, it would be terrible. Jiuyou, these two 100,000 soul beasts will be handed over to you. After a moment, Lu Yun pondered for a while and spoke seriously to Jiuyou beside him. Strive to eliminate the Azure Bull Python and Titan Ape as quickly as possible, saving time. Yes, Lord. Upon hearing this, Jiuyou nodded fiercely, her eyes unleashing endless power of the underworld, shining brightly. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. 100,000-year soul beast looking at the gate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. 100,000-year soul beast looking at the gate. Jiuyou stood in place, waved his big hand, and a majestic soul power instantly surged into his right hand. Sting. Gradually, two black and purple chains condensed into the void, releasing a terrifying dragon-chanting aura. It seems that all things in heaven and earth are trapped by these two chains, sealing the sky and locking the earth. Go. Jiuyou let out a loud shout, and the two chains in front of him directly penetrated the space, appearing in front of Tianqing Bull Python and Titan Ape in the blink of an eye. Not good, that one took action. Erming, run away. The Tianqing Bull Python saw the chains around its body and began to frantically try its best to break free from them. But to no avail, when their soul power touched this chain, it seemed as if it had been melted once. The chain continued to exert force, firmly imprisoning them. As they struggled, the chains became tighter and their strength could not be exerted. Upon seeing this behind the scenes, Xuanchuang knew that Jiuyou had taken action. Don't waste your efforts, come with me to see the Lord of the Pavilion. So he went straight to the front of Tianqing Bull Python and Titan Ape, and took them into the Star Auction Pavilion. The two beasts were unwilling to be brought into the Star Auction Pavilion by Xuanchuang. Seeing this scene inside, the two beasts were shocked and pale. I didn't expect that the Star Auction Pavilion, which looks so small from the outside, would have a unique cave inside. The difference between these two is really too big. After a moment, the hearts of the two beasts were filled with astonishing doubts. What exactly was this means? Undoubtedly, they are the two kings of the starry forest, the Azure Bull Python and the Titan Ape, truly deserving of their reputation. When the two beasts were shocked in their hearts, Lu Yun's playful voice suddenly rang in their ears. Human Soul Master, what exactly do you want to do? After hearing Lu Yun's voice, Tianqing Bull Python immediately regained consciousness and roared in anger towards the front, feeling very unwilling. The strong 100,000-year soul beast aura was about to be released, but it was directly suppressed by the chains and unable to move at all. Oh, what you're saying is quite interesting. It seems that you two beasts came to our Star Auction Pavilion first to cause trouble, but your strength was not strong enough, which led to such consequences and you became prisoners. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun secretly shook his head and sarcastically mocked the two beasts. My own strength is not strong, and I can blame others. If you have the ability, let go of me. The hot-tempered Titan Ape, feeling its own strength being confined and facing ridicule from human soul masters, couldn't help but roar. Continuously struggling with the surrounding chains, the chains became tighter and tighter, making it extremely difficult for the Titan Ape to breathe. If you want me to let you go, it's not impossible. You just need to agree to one condition. Suddenly, a meaningful smile appeared on Lu Yun's face, and he gently spoke to Titan Ape and Sky Blue Bull Python. What conditions? Tianqing Bull Python heard a conspiracy from Lu Yun's words, but for the sake of their small lives, he cautiously inquired. It's not very difficult either. You two beasts just need to help me guard the Star Auction Pavilion in the future, and you need to help me deal with some soul masters or soul beasts that are causing trouble. Overall, it's about helping us look at the gate of the Star Auction Pavilion. Lu Yun said straightforwardly, looking at Tianqing bull python and titan ape with great interest. Do you agree to see these two 100,000-year-old soul beasts? You can't think of it. A scholar can be killed, not humiliated. Even if our soul beast clan dies, we will not agree to your condition. At this moment, the titan ape angrily refused, looking as if he was going to die. Even if they self-destruct, they will not become prisoners of human soul masters. Since that's the case, then the consequences will have to be borne by yourselves. Jiuyou, these two 100,000-year soul beasts will be handed over to you. No matter what means I use, I just want a good result. Seeing such a situation, Lu Yun had already anticipated it, so he gently waved his hand and asked Jiuyou to deal with these 200,000-year-old soul beasts. He doesn't believe he can't cure the azure bull python and titan ape. As soon as Lu Yun's words fell, the two beasts couldn't help but feel fear in their hearts. Sure enough, an hour later. Stop it, we promise you the conditions. Stop it now. Two pleading voices rang out in the Star Auction Pavilion, namely the titan ape and the azure bull python. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Collecting and Scraping Treasures. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Collecting and Scraping Treasures. But at this moment, the two soul beasts looked extremely miserable, with bloody wounds all over their bodies. It seems like they were cruelly abused for a long time before turning them into this. That's right, all of this is a masterpiece of Jiuyou. He directly used his mysterious soul skills to thoroughly beat up the two beasts, causing their spirits and bodies to suffer unimaginable pain. This forced Tianqing bull python and titan ape to beg for mercy. With Jiuyou on the side, even if they wanted to die, they couldn't die at all. If only I had promised earlier, it would have required me to waste some effort. Seeing this situation, Lu Yun smiled and nodded. Next, Jiuyou planted prohibition directly in the spiritual sea of Tianqing bull python and titan ape. Always control the lives of the two beasts to prevent them from causing trouble. Although we have agreed to your terms, as a soul beast tribe, you cannot demand that we slaughter soul beasts. After Tianqing bull python and titan ape realized the restraint in their minds, their lives had been controlled by others, and the beasts were under the eaves, forcing them to bow their heads. Their lives are completely in the hands of others. Next, Tianqing bull python spoke seriously to Lu Yun, saying that as a soul beast clan, they naturally would not personally slaughter soul beasts. This is okay, I promise you. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun nodded calmly and agreed to Tianqing bull python's request. He is not a bloodthirsty person, he just needs to manage the Star Auction Pavilion well and gradually improve his strength. However, if any soul beast doesn't have eyes and dares to provoke him, then don't blame his subordinates for being merciless. Thus, the matter came to an end, and the sky blue bull python and titan ape prepared to leave this place and honestly guard the gate of the Star Auction Pavilion. The faces of the two beasts showed a very distressed expression. The 100,000-year soul beast, the king of the Star Do Forest, was asked by a human soul master to look at the door. It's really embarrassing. If it were to be spread, their reputation and face in the Star Forest would be completely gone. Wait a moment, hand over the treasures you have collected in your hands, such as soul bones, rare herbs, and so on. After looking at the figures of Tianqing bull python and titan ape in the distance, Lu Yun felt a bit amused. It's also true that the once majestic soul beast king is now under the protection of others, and it's strange to feel happy. Originally, Lu Yun was just worried about how to hold the first auction when he suddenly saw the two beasts ahead. They are the strongest in the starry forest on the surface, and I believe they have hidden a lot of treasures over the years. Then use the items collected by the azure bull python and titan ape as the items for the first auction. Upon hearing these words, Tianqing bull python and titan ape let out a thud in their hearts. Sure enough, they still came. I didn't expect them to not only lose their personal freedom, but also the treasures they have cherished for so many years. But they know it's impossible not to take it out. Since that's the case, they'll take out a portion first. I am clear about your thoughts in my mind, remember. I want all the things you collect, and if I discover that you are hiding them privately, you will understand the consequences. At this moment, Lu Yun's leisurely tone continued to spread. Can make the sky blue bull python and titan ape change their faces again, with indescribable bitterness. Yes, Lord. So, under the coercion of the powerful aura of the 9 nether extreme Douluo, the two beasts returned to the Lake of Life and took out all their collections over the years. After half an hour, countless treasures were placed in front of Lu Yun, including strange-shaped stones and some colorful herbs. Of course, there are more soul bones, and there are so many soul beasts in the Star Doe forest. Every day, there are soul beasts dying, although soul bones can only occasionally be exposed. Over time, there are also many of them. In front of Lu Yun, there were over 20 soul bones. The minimum age of these soul bones is 10,000 years, and the soul bones that can be collected by 200,000-year soul beasts are probably only those that are over 10,000 years old. The most prominent among them are 2 soul bones that emit the scent of a 100,000-year soul beast. These 2 soul bones are extremely rare in the Douluo Continent. One of them is the fiery red soul bone of the right arm, emitting a vibrant flame aura. As for the other soul bone, it is the head soul bone, which emits a very large spiritual attribute. It should be a 100,000-year soul beast with spiritual attributes, and a soul bone dropped after death. Not bad. Upon seeing these 100 treasures, Lu Yun nodded in satisfaction. He didn't expect these 2 soul beasts to have a considerable collection of things. With these 2 100,000-year soul bones, it is enough to completely knock out the name of the Star Auction Pavilion. You can also obtain valuable auction points and quickly improve your strength. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. The Gold of Life. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. The Gold of Life. At this moment, Lu Yun's gaze fell on a small grass next to his soul bone. This small grass appears emerald green, but there are several red threads surrounding it, making it look extremely enchanting overall. At the same time, a majestic spiritual force was released around this small grass, making it impossible for several people present to ignore this spiritual force. This is. Lu Yun looked at this immortal grass and also wanted to know its name and effect. This fairy grass seems different from the fairy grass in the eyes of ice and fire. Although Lu Yun has read the original work, he does not know this fairy grass. Just as he was lost, a few lines of words suddenly appeared in front of him, which were about the introduction of this fairy grass. When Lu Yun saw this situation, he knew it was done by the system. 9-heart mysterious grass. A top-notch spiritual attribute fairy grass that can greatly enhance mental strength when taken. The name and specific function of this fairy grass are all known to Lu Yun. Spiritual fairy grass is indeed extremely rare. It seems that this fairy grass can be a good auction item. Lu Yun looked at the fairy grass and nodded in satisfaction. Lu Yun knows that the immortal grass with spiritual attributes is extremely precious in the Douluo Continent. Moreover, spiritual power is equally important for soul masters. Nowadays, the cultivation of spiritual power in Douluo Continent is too rough. If your spiritual power is strong enough, you can not only control your soul skills, but also make them more mysterious. And it can also unleash more powerful attacks with its own soul skills. So this one item is enough to attract a considerable number of auction points. After further searching, it seems that Lu Yun did not find anything very precious. This is. Lu Yun's gaze suddenly shifted to a stone in the corner, which was pitch black in color and had a rough surface, making it look extremely ordinary. Just like this ordinary stone, on the surface it releases a strong breath of life. Metal of life. It contains a rich power of life. Seeing this short line of introduction, Lu Yun was extremely surprised in his heart, and he couldn't even describe his mood at this moment with excitement. This small piece of stone is actually the gold of living beings, which is too surprising. Lu Yun quickly placed this stone in his palm, feeling the rich power of life inside, and his whole body was excited beyond words. Surprisingly, it is the precious treasure of living beings, formed entirely by the condensation of the power of life into a solid state. It is enough to imagine to what extent the power of life contained in this small piece of stone is immense. Otherwise, it will not form solid spiritual gold. Lu Yun has read the original work and of course knows the role of the gold of living beings. Don't underestimate this piece of gold of living beings. The power of life contained within it can definitely reach half of the star forest. One of the functions of the gold of living beings is to improve one's physical condition, making it an infinitely growing life constitution. Wash oneself of impurities and make one's talent stronger. I won't auction off this piece of living gold, let me absorb it myself. Subsequently, Lu Yun pondered in his heart and decided to keep this spiritual gold for his own use. Although he does not have a martial soul in his body, further strengthening his physical condition will make it easier for him to absorb soul power and practice in the future. I am very satisfied with the treasures you brought. Don't worry, I will give you freedom in 5 years. However, I believe that when the time comes, you won't be willing to leave the Star Auction Pavilion. Lu Yun put away these treasures, looked up slightly, with a smile on his face, and looked ahead at the gloomy Tianqing bull python and titan ape. I hope you keep your word. Upon hearing Lu Yun's words, Tianqing bull python and titan ape's eyes lit up and quickly concealed them. They don't believe this human soul master will let them go in 5 years. However, in his heart, he hoped that Lu Yun could keep his word. Lu Yun didn't say anything when he saw the expressions of Tianqing bull python and titan ape, but a meaningful smile appeared on his face. 5 years later, the Star Auction Pavilion has developed to an unimaginable extent, and its own strength may have already reached an unimaginable level. As long as Titan Ape and Sky Blue Bull Python are not foolish, they will not easily leave the Star Auction Pavilion. Subsequently, with a big wave of his hand, Lu Yun instructed Tianqing Bull Python and Titan Ape to leave here, and he was about to start absorbing this spiritual gold. After the two beasts left, Lu Yun sat cross-legged in place. Place the spiritual gold in front of oneself, turn your head to Jiuyou in front and say, Jiuyou, help me absorb this spiritual gold. Lu Yun asked Xian Shuang to protect the Dharma on the side, and Jiuyou helped him absorb this spiritual gold. At this moment, he is an ordinary person without any soul power. With such a huge amount of life force entering his body, unpredictable consequences are inevitable. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Preparation to start auction. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Preparation to start auction. Yes, Lord. After hearing Lu Yun's command, Jiuyou nodded solemnly. In the next moment, the massive soul power in his hand surged, suspending the gold of life in front of Lu Yun. With a wave of Jiuyou's big hand, the rich soul power exploded, and the spiritual gold in front of Lu Yun instantly exploded, turning into small fragments and floating around his body. With the explosion of the metal of life, the life force that had reached its extreme point had nowhere to release and spread towards the outside world. Gathering. Jiuyou didn't panic at all when she saw this scene, and gently uttered a word. Suddenly, an invisible force blocked the entire area, and the life force that was originally spreading towards the outside world converged again around Lu Yun's body. A trace of life force entered Lu Yun's body, removing impurities from his body and transforming his ordinary constitution into a life attribute constitution. Time passed in a blink of an eye, and Lu Yun received the influx of the power of life, as if soaking himself in a warm hot spring, feeling extremely comfortable. The surface of the body emitted a trace of black dirt, emitting an unpleasant odor. At the same time, a fragrance belonging to the power of life spread out from Lu Yun's body. The whole person's temperament became even more ethereal, as if he himself was a life potion in human form. Nearly half an hour passed, and the power of life in the entire area gradually dissipated, all of which entered Lu Yun's body. With the assistance of the extreme Douluo powerhouse Jiuyou, there is no waste of the power of life in the metal of life, and all of it is absorbed by Lu Yun. Who? Is this the body that has been transformed by the gold of life? It's really perfect. After absorbing the essence of life, Lu Yun stood up and moved his muscles and bones throughout his body. I feel that within my body, whether it's bones, blood, or meridians, there is a strong power of life everywhere. It's hard for Lu Yun to imagine that he would become like this. And the unintentional release of his body's vital energy is also a distress. This powerful power of life will definitely attract the coveting of some ferocious soul beasts. It seems that before his strength improves, he should try not to go deep into the depths of the star forest. It's time to start preparing for the first auction. After calming his excitement, Lu Yun gazed into the distance with a hint of interest in his eyes. He currently has several treasures in his hands and can start his first auction. Jiuyou, please help me write a few invitation letters and send them to the top forces in Douluo Continent one by one. In a month, the Star Auction Pavilion will hold an auction. I hope all the forces come and take a look. Lu Yun directly said to Jiuyou, asking him to personally deliver these invitation letters to the other forces. No matter what, Jiuyou's strength is also the existence of extreme Douluo, the most powerful person in the world. He personally sent out the invitation letter, believing that the other forces in Douluo Continent, even the Martial Soul Hall, would not easily deceive them. I must come to the Star Auction Pavilion with curiosity to participate in the auction. At that time, let them see the heritage of the Star Auction Pavilion. At the same time, you can seize the opportunity to converge a large number of auction points, obtain a martial soul gift package, and start improving your strength. Okay, Lord. Upon hearing this, Jiuyou nodded lightly, indicating that she understood. Although Jiuyou and Xuanxuang were soul masters created by the system, they have already implanted anything related to Douluo Continent in their memory. Without any explanation from Lu Yun, they would naturally know the power of Douluo Continent and even where it is located. Jiuyou, when the time comes, you can appropriately demonstrate your own strength. Suddenly, Lu Yun didn't know what came to his mind and continued speaking. Let Jiuyou grasp the right balance and strive to attract more forces to come to the Star Auction Pavilion. As soon as Lu Yun's words fell, Jiuyou nodded slightly. In an instant, the surrounding space fluctuated slightly, and Jiuyou's figure suddenly disappeared into place. Start going to the major forces in Douluo Continent and send invitation letters. Lu Yun stood in place, carrying his hands on his back, looking forward to the auction in a month. Xuanxuang, during the time when Jiuyou left, the safety of the Star Auction Pavilion will be entrusted to you. Lu Yun whispered softly. Master, don't worry, with me around, no one dares to invade the Star Auction Pavilion. Xuanxuang responded solemnly. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. The Papal Palace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 The Papal Palace. The Papal Palace. This is a magnificent hall, filled with a luxurious atmosphere everywhere. On the head seat inside the main hall, there sat a woman in a purple and gold long dress, exuding a charming aura. Wearing a 9-curved crown and holding a scepter, exuding a royal aura throughout his body. This woman is under the crown of the Martial Soul Palace Pope, Bibidong. At this moment, Bibidong is handling the affairs of the Martial Soul Hall. Buzz, buzz. Suddenly, a wave of spatial fluctuations surged ahead, and a powerful aura poured out, covering the entire papal hall. From the moment this aura appeared, Bibidong immediately sensed it. Boom! A powerful soul power surged forward, releasing its own martial soul. 9 dazzling soul rings flickered one after another. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 red. Who dares to break into the papal palace without permission? Bibidong's violent momentum rushed forward, creating an explosive atmosphere that made the entire papal hall tremble slightly. Bang! At this moment, the same powerful force ahead instantly suppressed Bibidong's momentum. A golden paper slowly emerged from the void and landed on the table in front of Bibi to the east. The master of this aura is Jiuyou. Following Lu Yun's instructions, he arrived at the Pope's palace at the first time and sent the invitation letter to Bibidong. Upon seeing that he had delivered the invitation letter, Jiuyou immediately opened up the space and planned to leave the papal palace for the next destination. Ghost Douluo, Chrysanthemum Douluo, stop him. Bibidong naturally sensed the figure that Jiuyou wanted to leave, so he immediately instructed Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo, who were hidden deep in the void. Yes. Under the Pope's crown. Two figures appeared from the void, one dressed in a golden robe and exuding a feminine aura, speaking in an androgynous voice. The other was dressed in a black robe, shrouded in black mist, exuding a eerie aura. At this moment, the two of them were the two titled Douluo powerhouses in the Martial Soul Hall, Bibidong's right arm and left arm. The Qi Rong Tong Tian Ju Martial Soul and the Ghost Martial Soul were immediately released. Each person's 9 soul rings flickered one after another, unleashing a level 95 titled Douluo aura and attacking together with Bibidong. Under the pressure of the 3 titled Douluo, they directly bombarded Jiuyou in front of them, hoping to capture Jiuyou. Bibidong knows exactly what kind of strength this person possesses, but she doesn't know where this person actually comes from. In order to avoid any hidden dangers, this person must be taken down, otherwise she doesn't know what will happen in the future. 2 poles stationary field. At this moment, Douluo and Douluo shouted loudly. The 9 soul rings on the body suddenly detached and slowly formed a huge halo condensed from the soul rings in the air ahead. In an instant, the entire time and space of the papal palace seemed to be frozen in half. Nothing can move at all. Humph. Just as a few people were excited, a cold snort suddenly rang out in the room. With just your weak martial soul fusion skill, you still want to stop me, it's just a pipe dream. Jiuyou let out a cold snort, his massive soul power instantly shattering the 2 poles of the stationary realm around him. And this powerful soul power poured out, directly shaking Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo over 10 meters, and finally falling heavily to the ground, spitting blood continuously. The invitation letter has been delivered. Please participate in the Star Auction Pavilion's auction in 1 month on time. Seeing that Jiuyou had already achieved his goal, he did not continue to stay. After all, Lu Yun only instructed him to deliver the invitation letter to the Pope's palace, and did not make him commit a mass murder. Otherwise, these 3 people in front of us will undoubtedly die. Buzz. The void stirred up ripples, and Jiuyou suddenly disappeared in place, leaving no trace of breath. Under the crown of the Pope, are you still chasing after me? Lying on the ground, Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo slowly stood up, dragging their seriously injured bodies. Turning his head, he asked Bibidong if he wanted to continue chasing, but at this moment, Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo dared not pursue him anymore. The 2 of them unleashed a bipolar stationary field, even a super Douluo at level 96 or 97 can imprison it and prevent it from moving for half a minute. But when he imprisoned the unknown powerhouse, he did not move a single point at first. But the last unknown powerhouse, relying on his own soul power, forcefully broke through the 2 poles of the stationary realm. And they suffered from the backlash caused by the fragmentation of domain skills. The man's body erupted with 2 powerful soul powers, directly injuring them to this point. They knew that the strong man had not released his martial soul and soul skills back then, and could achieve such a level with his own strength. If the martial souls are released again, they will undoubtedly die. Even the Pope's coronation cannot be spared. End of this chapter.